We're live. Hi guys, welcome back to the Solo Club live stream. Has it been 2 weeks since I did one of these? It's been longer than it has been normally. The camera is also higher than it is normally as well, so apologies for that. Also, another thing to apologise about is just the state of me at the minute. I've had this horrible cold since I got back from CES back in 2 weeks ago. Will not go, so I sound a little bit like Barry White. And I look like this, so apologies. I'll try and get through this as much as I can. I hope you're well. Anyway, and yeah, again, the other thing to apologising about everything, is the audio, because I am still working from the MacBook Pro mic, because there's something wrong with the setup here, and because I've barely been here and so much has been going on, I've just not had time to sort it out. So hopefully you can hear me. I'll stop bashing on the desk, I promise, and I won't tap on the keyboard, because that is what causes all the noises. As always, the purpose of today is to talk about something in particular, which I think today is definitely very interesting, and then take your questions. That's the big thing. I want to hear from you guys. It's the one thing which really sets alight these chats that we have every Friday, if it is every Friday. I think next week it will be Thursday, just to throw more confusion into the mix. Also, just a very quick public service announcement. The Creator Academy, which went live this Monday, is still available to sign up to. So if you haven't had a chance to sign up yet, but you're still thinking about it, we haven't closed off the registrations because it's open. You can sign up. You don't miss out on anything. So basically, every Monday, the members of the Creator Academy get a new video from me, and every month they get to jump onto a live Q&A, a little bit like this, but behind closed doors. All of that stuff, all of that content will be completely accessible by you if you sign up now, or in 2 weeks' time, or in 6 weeks' time. Doesn't matter. So I'll just do a little public service announcement there. The link is down below in the description somewhere. So let's talk about something really, really interesting. And like I say, as always, guys, fill the chat window with questions. Just hit me with your questions. I'm really, really interested to hear from you. I think today's topic will definitely spark some questions. So it's all about the video that I published on Wednesday, which was the S24 Ultra, which is this phone here. If you're a tech person, you'll know exactly what this is. This is Samsung's latest flagship phone, and it's just brilliant. I think it may be the best smartphone I've ever used. That's irrelevant though, because what is relevant for this particular chat, these are annoying, aren't they? Apologies. Merch might come at some point, don't worry. What is interesting about this phone is what it did to my YouTube channel, which, to put no finer point on it, is set it on fire in the best way possible. So this video went live on, like I say, Wednesday, I think it was. It's Friday now, so we're only a couple of days later, really. And the current tally of views, let me just refresh YouTube Studio. So a couple of days later, it has done 96,000 views, which is crazy. It's had an impression click-through rate of 9.7%, which is very high. Average view duration of 5 minutes, 37 seconds. In fact, let me share YouTube Studio with you so you can see what it looks like. So I've got all this ready. Here's one I made earlier, as they used to sound on Blue Peter. So this is YouTube Studio for this particular video. And as you can see, and let me just make sure you can definitely see that. Can I just do a quick mic check as well, guys? So anyone who's watching this, can you hear me okay? Is the mic level enough? I'm not too quiet. I'm very conscious of this setup at the moment not working as intended. So I'm relying completely on this MacBook Pro and its built-in mic. Can you hear me okay, guys? That's the main thing. And am I loud enough? If I'm not loud enough, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, to be honest. I am. Good. Thank you, David. Brilliant. Okay, let's get back. Sounds good, Travis. Thank you. Let's get back to YouTube Studio. So this is the stats for this particular video. I don't always show this stuff, but I think it's interesting when we have a video that is this incredibly well performing, basically. So we get told straight away by YouTube Studio that the views are basically 8 times, as near as makes a difference, higher than usual, and more regulars are choosing to watch it, and they're watching it for longer. All that stuff is great. That's fantastic, because that's helping, as it says here, increase its reach on YouTube and the recommendations. So thumbs up everywhere, basically. So in terms of the headline numbers, like I say, 95.5 thousand views, 95.5k, whatever, 9,000 hours of watch time. It's brought in nearly 600 new subscribers from one video in 2 days, and the estimated revenue. I'd love to know what you think about this. This is the AdSense revenue for a video which has gone very, very viral. It's really gone out there and brought in a lot of stuff, but it's made 478 estimated British pounds in terms of AdSense revenue. So it really has absolutely gone bananas. In terms of the reach, it's had 818,500 impressions, which is how often it's appeared on, within the feeds on YouTube, and it's basically how many times people have had the option to click it. Of those people, 9.7% of them did click through. That is high. Generally speaking, my average is about 6%, I think, really. At one point, this was 11 point something percent, so it was really high to begin with. 44,500 unique viewers. That's nice. Engagement is pretty good. It's 3 seconds higher than usual, so that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's a point up in the right direction. Retention is typical, actually, from the looks of it, in terms of where they're dropping off and where they're staying, etc. The audience, what can I show you here? Still have a massive weighting towards the male audience. I don't know why. And this is all fairly standard for me in terms of the kind of demographics. Excuse me. Again, if you've just joined, I've got a terrible, annoying cough and cold, so apologies for all the noises. So all this stuff is fairly standard, but the kind of headline numbers is this huge views figure. When this happens, so when a video goes viral, it is very surreal. Some of you may have experienced this if you're watching this, if you've got your own YouTube channel already. You may have experienced a viral video, and it's very surreal. So and it's very addictive as well, because you'll go into YouTube Studio and you'll check the performance, and it will be, let's say, 2 hours later, it's done 6,000 views. That's impressive anyway. But funny enough, this video started off as a 5 out of 10. So when it went live, 30 minutes later, it was only the 5th best performing video out of the last 10 after 30 minutes. I saw that and thought, oh, okay. Left it for a couple of hours, came back, and it was number 1. It had gone from 5 to 1, which is interesting in itself. But going back to the kind of addictive nature of this, when it starts to pick up, you hit 6,000 views, let's say, you put your phone down, you pick up your phone again, let's say a minute later, refresh YouTube Studio. I don't recommend doing this, by the way, but this is what happens. And it's done 7,000 views, and you think, okay, that was a minute. So you put your phone down again, and you test it. You pick it up again, a minute later, 8,000. And then you sit there for a bit and twiddle your thumbs, let a few seconds pass, and refresh again, and it's brought in another 500. That is literally how the numbers start coming in. And then all the comments start coming in as well. And the comments, they're like a wave. They just come out of nowhere. Just piles upon piles of comments, thumbs up, everything. And your subs as well. Every time you refresh YouTube Studio, your sub rate, the rate at which you're bringing in new subs, increases exponentially. You've gained 10 subs, then another 10, then 20, and then you leave it for an hour, and you've gained 100 new subs, and the video itself has gained another 5,000 views. Now, just to be clear, this is not normal performance for my videos. They don't normally perform like this. There are some channels out there that have this kind of viral nature, where they, certainly bigger channels, they experience this regularly. So every video they publish, seemingly, or quite a high percentage of them, perform like that. That isn't the case for Mark Ellis Reviews. Generally speaking, my videos they're not slow burners, but they do take a while to really reach critical mass. It can take a week or so, sometimes longer than that. So this, for me, is a viral video. I don't get them very often. The most recent one I had before this was the iMac, the M3 iMac video. That's now at nearly 300,000 views, still going as well. This one is still going. You know, it's very, like I say, very surreal and exciting. The problem with it is that you're only ever as good as your last video. So you then start thinking, oh wow, okay, this is great, but my next video is on topic whatever, that ain't gonna perform. That's the problem with this. The other problem with virality, and this is just a quick warning about it really, a warning about chasing it. When this happens, and it's a very natural human thing to kind of think. The first thing that pops into your head is, I need to repeat this. This must be repeatable. I've done it once, I can do it again. It's almost impossible to repeat that. A great example of this is that M3 iMac video where, like I say, it's done 300,000 views. I think that one grew quicker than this one. It was very quick. So I planned, as a result of that, I planned a couple of weeks later another video on the M3 iMac. I used the same concept with the thumbnail, same thing with the title. The video itself was very similar. It was a follow-up. It was answering a few questions that were raised lots of questions that were raised in the first video, and it's done 11,000 views. And there's no rhyme or reason for that. You know, I wasn't just copying the first video. It was like a two-parter. I was doing a second video that was in relation to that massive first video. Didn't perform. I mean, 11,000 views. Don't get me wrong; it's still fantastic. It's not 300,000, and there's no rhyme or reason as to why that is. I can't look at those two videos and think those are the reasons the first one picked up like that, and those are the reasons the second one didn't perform. So chasing virality, which isn't actually a word, but chasing viral videos isn't a good idea because you don't really have any control over it. The other problem with that is if you do somehow magically find the formula to get viral videos going, I can almost guarantee it will be based on a similar topic. So you'll have to make pretty much not the same video, but the same thing each time. If, for instance, it is a benchmark test for an M3 iMac that has gone madly viral for you, and then you find that you do another one and it does the same thing, you may have found a little trick there potentially. Conversely, based on what I've just said, you may have found a little trick that works. The problem with that is that you then get pigeonholed. So I've got nothing to back this up at all, but I think you get pigeonholed by the YouTube algorithm. I think it favours your channel for that type of content. So whenever you produce that sort of content, it does well. And secondly, you get pigeonholed by the audience because people get used to you doing that thing. You know, he's the guy or she's the girl who does that video, and that's what I want. So as soon as you try and do something else, because you're getting bored of testing M3 iMacs, you don't see the numbers. This is one of the hardest things about being a YouTuber. I've not mastered it. I don't think anyone's mastered it really, apart from some of the really big guys. But they have the benefit of a big audience, a really big audience. But when you're kind of my size, it's incredibly difficult to strike that balance between high-performing videos and videos that you really want to make. You know, being a little bit experimental, trying different topics within your niche. It's very tricky. I seem to have found a bit of a balance. I think I do strike that balance between these occasional big videos and my bread and butter, which is generally speaking headphone reviews, Mac content and that sort of stuff. I can generally dart between both of them. Because of that, I don't get many of these massive videos. I just seem to get a nice spread of views, which is what I think works. I think it works for sponsors. It certainly works for me mentally because I'm not making the same video again and again and again. But that's just a bit of a warning about chasing viral performance because it's not the best thing to do, really. But I suppose the next question though is why did this particular video take off? And it's curious. It's very difficult to get to the bottom of, basically. Let me just again share with you my list of content. So bear with me. Let's just do this again. I want to get to the bottom of this, but I don't think I ever will, to be honest. I just don't think it's possible. So this is my channel content. This is in YouTube Studio. So we've got this one here. Here is the top of the screen. It's the one with the big, huge number of views. The S24 Ultra 2-week later review. Beneath that is the newsletter. That's obviously that's quite a big number for the newsletter, actually. But yeah, below that we've got 18,000, 10,000, 5,000, 20, 23, 35, yada yada yada. 24, another newsletter there, another newsletter there. So you can kind of see, like I mentioned, that I've got kind of a not overly spectacular, but a well-performing channel, generally speaking. So what was it about this one that worked? Because on the face of it, it's about this phone, which everyone seemingly has reviewed. I'm not the first person to review the S24 Ultra, and I suppose one thing to bear in mind is that this isn't my first video on this phone. I did an embargo video, which went live on whatever day that was, the 17th of January. That's done 23,000 views, I think. So this is actually my second video on this. But in between that time of me publishing my first review and this one, there's there's probably thousands of S24 Ultra reviews out there. But something happened, something worked with this one. I do need to go back in. In fact, let me show you the thumbnail. Can I share the thumbnail? Let's have a look. Is that going to be easy to do? Let's have a look. If I just very quickly get this up for you. Because as always, there are lots of different elements to a video, things that make a difference. Some things that don't make a difference, but it's never that obvious what they are. But I think we can pick out a few things here. So this is the thumbnail. Stupid face alert. But there's a good point there, actually. I do still get comments on YouTube from people saying, oh, do you have to keep pulling stupid faces? Well, yeah, if it keeps producing numbers like this, I'll keep pulling stupid faces, I'm afraid. So in terms of the makeup of this thumbnail, the first thing to note is that I didn't design it. I do have a thumbnail designer who I don't use for every single thumbnail, but this is one of those videos where I thought it needed his expertise, and he's done a great job, I think, basically. So I didn't design this at all, but you can see what he's done with it after some fairly brief kind of instructions from myself and from Niall. Silly face, as we say. I'm clearly shocked by something. I'm holding the product. It's very obvious what the product is. We've got a great big 24 on there. If you know what you're looking for, you can see that is a Samsung. It's got a 24 on it. It's the S24 Ultra. Also, I picked the orange color, the online exclusive. I did that very deliberately. I always do this with phones if I can. I get the most. Not the most outrageous, but the most interesting colour. And Samsung is very good at delivering these kind of online exclusives. So an interesting colour, and then the descriptive text 2 weeks later, very descriptive. This video is clearly made by someone who has had this thing for 2 weeks, and then there's enough visual flair in here. The arrow, the background, which you don't think about really at all. If you don't overanalyze it, but it sticks out. There's enough visual flair for this thing to jump out and tempt you to click. So that's the thumbnail. The title of the video, which is just Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra 2 weeks later, the truth, and truth is in capital letters. I do this quite a lot. You'll notice in a lot of my videos I do capitalize at least one word. A lot of YouTubers do that these days. Whether or not that makes a difference, I don't know. I've not done any analysis on that. We probably do need to do that at some stage, but it just feels right. It feels like it hooks people in a little bit. So using the word the truth it leaves enough of what we call a knowledge gap for people to think, okay, what's he talking about? What is the truth? And because this topic, the topic of iPhone, get that wrong, crikey, iPhone versus S24 versus Android, because that topic is it's just such an emotive thing in the tech industry. I don't know why. They're smartphones. You like what you like, you buy what you like, but I'm not complaining if people do if people want to set their trousers on fire about this stuff, happy days, because it works for people like me. So it's a very emotive topic anyway. So using the truth, it's going to draw people in. They want to hear what I've got to say. They're either hoping that I agree with them, or sadistically, they're probably hoping that I don't agree with them and they can have a bit of a battle in the comment section with me. So the title, the thumbnail, I think worked. I think the timing worked really well. Like I say, this was a 2-week later review, so that the product itself is still very fresh. You know, Samsung is still advertising this very heavily. There's a lot of reviews out there, but the benefit of there being a lot of reviews out there already is that there's a lot of interest generated on YouTube about it. So you know, if you watch one S24 Ultra video, YouTube's going to think, okay, he might want more of these, and we'll keep putting them in front of you. So timing wise, I think if I'd left it another couple of weeks, it probably wouldn't have performed as it has done. Maybe even a week later, it may not have performed that well. There's a sprinkling of luck. We have to admit this, like anything in life, luck plays a role. You know, my video isn't really that much different to anyone else's. It's unique insofar as it's me, I'm doing it and what have you. But it's, you know, it's an overview of this phone. It's some bloke saying what he likes and what he doesn't like about the S24 Ultra. So it needs a bit of luck to get it out there. So there's definitely a sprinkling of luck, that's always there. But as I've always said, you have to put yourself in the place where luck might happen. And if you can do that, luck will inevitably find you at some point. If you're consistent enough, luck will land on your doorstep. The other thing, which I will say, is that I was very proud of this video. I did an Instagram story about it in the week where just after I'd finished proof watching it and getting it ready for upload, I just remember sitting there and thinking, that's actually really good. That's a really good video. This does happen sometimes, unbelievably. I'm British as well. I do sometimes watch back the stuff that I've made and think, that's actually really good. Which sounds a bit weird. This is my job. It should be good, but it's hard to, as I say, as a British guy, we can be a little bit self-effacing, and I was genuinely proud of this. I think I got everything right, really, from the intro. I think that was strong. I think it hooked people in quickly. I think the narrative throughout the video was just strong. I think I built enough hooks in there and enough kind of ongoing kind of little cliffhangers and things and references to what is coming up, you know, later on in the video to keep people watching. And the other thing that I did very consciously was incite audience interaction, either directly by saying, let me know what you think in the comments, or fight me in the comments, all that sort of stuff, or just surreptitiously, just not saying things that I know people are going to react to. So for instance, the S Pen, Spen as they call it, on the S24 Ultra, I think it's a gimmick. I always have done. I don't think you need to use it unless you do use it for handwriting. I think for everything else, it's a gimmick, personally. And I know that as soon as I say that, I don't have to say, let me know what you think in the comments, because as soon as I just know, as soon as my mouth opens and says, I think this is before I even say the rest of the word gimmick, immediately people are there bashing away, typing comments, calling me an idiot, which is brilliant. So I think I got all that stuff right. The thing to bear in mind with that element of it in terms of what I think is a very good video, is the fact that that doesn't happen overnight. That luck doesn't make that happen. That comes from an awful lot of hard work, 4 years of running this channel, and before that, many years of building a skill set that has enabled me to make videos like that. So it's not luck; it's an awful lot of hard work. That part of it. It does illustrate what it takes to make these sort of videos. You can get very lucky with content and things can just, for whatever reason, fly off the shelf. But when it comes to the quality of the video having an impact on that does require experience and a skill set, which anyone can develop, both of those things. But that's what I've done. You know, if I can do it, trust me, anyone can. The big question with this, and I kind of asked this question at the start really, is, can I repeat it? Can I repeat this performance with this S24 Ultra video? And I think the honest answer is I probably will at some point, but I have no idea what video it will be. It might be the next S24 Ultra video that I make. I've got one booked in 2 weeks. I've got one. We're working on one in a couple of weeks. Might be that one. It may not be. It may be a video on the next Mac Mini in a year's time, in 2 years' time. Who knows? What I have learned over the last 4 years is that if you accept the fact that you can't chase this stuff and you shouldn't chase this stuff, it will inevitably happen at some point, and it will be great when it does happen. But you have to take these moments as they are, excuse me, as they are on the face of it, which is a moment in time. It's a great boost for your channel. It's a great boost for subs, but you shouldn't one, you shouldn't take it too seriously, and two, you shouldn't expect this to be the new norm, because it isn't. It really isn't. And if you chase this as the new norm, you're going to box yourself into a corner that you probably won't enjoy. So I hope all of that made sense. I have to have a drink now because it's damn cold. Hopefully my voice isn't too deep and movie trailerish. Let's get some questions, guys. Hopefully you found this interesting. I do quite like sharing the numbers with you. I like showing you the behind the scenes of YouTube Studio. I think it's interesting. Some regular viewers on here. Not as many people as we normally have. I think views have dropped this week. Maybe that's because I've been inconsistent over the last 2 weeks due to travel. I mean, it's no other reason apart from flying around everywhere doing stuff. So anyway, Travis has got a question about Vision Pro. I was waiting for some Vision Pro comments, questions rather. Travis, from the early reviews, are you more or less excited about getting your Vision Pro? I've not watched any of the early reviews. Really good tip, I think this is. If you're going to review something and it's a new product, and you're getting it after everyone else is getting it, or seemingly, I would advise against watching those reviews, because I think they can taint your expectations a bit. I want, particularly with Vision Pro, because it's such a new thing. It's the new era of computing as far as Apple is concerned. Because it is so new, I want to go into it without any well, I've got expectations, but I don't want to go into it with expectations that have come about because I've watched Marquez's video or whatever. I want to be fresh. So I've as much as I have been able to, occasionally things slip in. There's lots of short form videos flying around about it, obviously. I occasionally catch them and watch them for about 3 seconds and think, no, get rid of it. I am avoiding all of those things. So I'm excited about it because I want to see what Apple is pitching as the next era of computing. But I'm a little bit nervous in terms of how much I'll be able to do with it in the UK, and what we're going to do with it content-wise. That's the next thing. So yeah, we'll see. Should have it in about a week or so, fingers crossed, all being well. David, quantity of views is great, but how can you determine whether some individuals have watched the video more than once? This would skew the figures. So that's the unique views, which I've come out of there. I've stopped sharing my screen now, but it's the number of unique views that you get. That's how many people have watched it once, basically. So yeah, I don't think many people watch YouTube videos more than once. Some might. I mean, I think well, I know this from the stats. It's quite a small percentage. I think, yeah, if they are watching it twice, great. I mean, it adds to the number. I don't really mind. If one person watches that video 3 times, then that's 3 views, and views count towards your ability to pick up bigger sponsors. It doesn't really matter how those views are. It matters that they are genuine views. We don't want purchased views or anything like that. But as long as they are genuine views, I don't really mind how many times people watch a video. But I know most people just watch it once. I don't know why they'd want to watch it more than once, unless it's to get certain details, I suppose. I guess also for educational content, if you're demonstrating something or doing a tutorial, then yeah, you're going to get people watching it again and again just to get the information. But I think for a review, I don't think that happens. I know it doesn't happen that often. High Tech with Dom. Again, lots of very familiar faces here. Samrat says, great to tune in live. Great to have you. Thank you. Is this your first time? It sounds like it's your first time tuning in. We do this every week, and I love doing it. Although I didn't do it last week because travel, basically. The S24 colour looks great. Yeah, it is in this case at the moment. I won't try and take the case off, but it's in there. I like it. A lot of people don't like it. I think it could be more orangery, as I mentioned in the video, but and some people have kind of referred to it as being a bit like burnt orange or rusty. That's a bit unfair. But I like it. I think it's a great colour. I just, like I said, I tend to go for the colour that I think is going to pop off the most in a thumbnail and in the B-roll and that sort of stuff. A lot of Android fans, we're getting into the tech realm now, aren't we? We've always said, no, we can't do tech questions on this channel, but then we do tend to fall into them, which is, I tend to fall into them as well. Richard, a lot of the Android phones are great, but they don't have the Apple ecosystem. I did try a Samsung Z, as we say, Z Fold 4, which is great, but it's just not worth buying one as you lose the Apple ecosystem. Again, coming back to the content side of things, that conversation around, one of the big things about that video that has really seems to have gripped people and really got them commenting and interacting with it, is the whole thing about me being unable to come out of the Apple ecosystem because of the watch and the fact that I can copy and paste between the iPhone and the Mac. Now, again, intentionally, that was mentioned because I knew that would get people talking. I think the Apple ecosystem thing is, particularly when you admit, and this is all honest, I'm being very honest about this, I do feel trapped by the Apple ecosystem. I think as soon as you mention that, people want to give you their opinion. They want to tell you that either you're wrong and you should be able to get out of it, or they want to tell you that Apple is a terrible company, they shouldn't be doing this, they lock you in, all this stuff. Or they agree, actually, and they sympathise, and there's some empathy there because they are the same. They feel that same level of entrapment, for want of a better word. So it's just brilliant to get engagement going. These smartphone reviews, for some reason, whenever you do a Samsung smartphone review, that is where all the engagement comes from. There's something about Samsung users that really I'm not judging them for this at all. I'm a massive Samsung fan. I do think this is the best smartphone I've ever used. But there's something about Samsung people that really, it just sets alight comments. I don't know why. Excuse me. Tech with Dom says, following the advice in your Medium ebook, I mainly post on the website. I guess your website you're referring to there, Dom. What are the good ways of earning on my own website other than ad revenue? So at the moment, on markellisreviews.com, the only source of income from that website is ads, AdSense via a third party. So we use a service called Monumetric, which I think I've mentioned here before. Monumetric basically act as almost like a broker, really. So they try and get you the best ad rates. They do all the placements. I'm not overly enamoured with them. I think there's a few issues with their approach. They do tend to insist on filling each page with too many ads, which is why my website is like that at the moment, although it's not alone in that respect. So at the moment, I do only use ad revenue myself. In terms of the other strategies to monetize your own website, the great thing about it being your own website is that the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want with it. The two most obvious ways are beyond AdSense. The first one is sponsorships. This is something that we're looking into at the moment. If you can get enough views, if you can get enough consistent views every month, to which you can refer when you're talking to brands, you can start selling banner ads, you can start selling sponsored posts. That is where we want to get to. We want to reduce the reliance that we have on ads, because it's too much at the moment, and move over to more of a more controllable, predictable form of website revenue, which is sponsorships. The other thing that you can do is sell stuff via the website. So if you've got merchandise or anything really, if you're selling an ebook or whatever it might be, that's another great way to monetize your website. But ads and AdSense in particular is just the kind of quickest way to do it. Oh, the other thing is affiliate revenue. So we do this. So technically there are two revenue streams. Stick affiliate links into your posts. So sign up with Amazon affiliates, whatever other affiliate platforms you can find that work for you. And whenever you mention a product, stick an affiliate link in there, because you never know how many people might click through that. It's strange because at the moment I'm getting more views from X, Twitter. No one knows what to call it, do they? Even though it is just called X. This has never happened before. Well, that's great, Richard. If you're getting more views from via X, that's great. I mean, I struggle with X. I enjoy using it. I enjoy being a user of it in terms of viewing content on there. I've kind of got a curated list of people that I enjoy following and interacting with. So I quite enjoy that part of it. But in terms of it being a platform for me, I've only got about 1,700 followers, only 1,700 followers on there, which is it's probably the smallest following that I've got. And I realised that the other day. I looked at it and thought, oh, it just hasn't grown. I've not managed to. So I think growing on X is very difficult. I've seen some people do it. I've seen some people get really strong growth, but I'm not sure how you do it. I think the biggest component missing, and I know there's been a lot about this with Mr. Beast, Jimmy, he's done some testing with this, and it's video. The fact that video just doesn't really work on Twitter, X, whatever. But it's primed for it. It's ideal for video. So yeah, that's great though for you, Richard. If you're getting, again, there must be a reason for it. Again, going back to what I've been talking about with this viral video, there's reasons this video has performed well. There is some luck involved and some strange algorithm stuff going on, which I'll never understand. But the things that I listed earlier, the thumbnail, the title, the timing, the quality of the video, that all those things I can identify as being things that made this work, and then you can look at those things and think, okay, what was it about the thumbnail? What was it about the title? Why was it timed so well? You can start to dig into that and then base your content planning for the future on those findings. And you can probably do the same thing with X. If you're getting more views on X, it's for a reason, Richard. It's just working out what they are. Look at those posts that have performed particularly well and just try and suss out what you got right, because you clearly got something right with it. The one thing in this industry, it's all a bit of a guessing game, because the platforms won't tell you. I can't ring up YouTube and say, hi guys, why did that video perform really well? I'm just wondering. Oh, well, by the way, that just doesn't happen. So you have to do a bit of research yourself. Hi, Luke. A regular. Travis says, you mostly listen to long format videos and podcasts at 1.5/2x speed. Does YouTube factor this in this? Does YouTube factor this and award? Do you mean, does it impact the metrics? I don't know, to be honest. I genuinely don't know. Probably not. I mean, it's still a view, isn't it? It's still someone engaging with your content. How you do it, where you do it, I don't think matters personally. I might be wrong with that. Hi, Alan. Good to see you. Travis, view count of videos on Twitter is very suspicious. Who knows? We'll never know, will we? Because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But yeah, who knows? James, what's for tea tonight? The most important question. I don't actually know. Oh, we're having homemade chicken burgers. There you go. You probably didn't need to know that, but I do like a chicken burger made at home, because you can put as much stuff in it as possible. The only problem with that is that it ends up being that tall and you can't physically eat it, but that's a nice problem to have. Any other questions, guys? I do have to shoot off at 10 to 5, so in 13 minutes' time I've got to rush home to be at home and do the dad stuff, but we've got a bit of time. Any other questions on what I've shown you today in terms of the whole viral video thing? Because it fascinates me, this sort of stuff. And that video is still going. I mean, if I just check it now, where are we? Let's refresh. 96,000 now. It has slowed. It's definitely I think it's hit its peak already. Although sometimes they can hit another peak, but it has slowed a bit. It's still going. It's 96,500 now since we've been speaking. I can't think what it was when we first started, but crazy, unbelievable. When am I getting my Vision Pro? So it arrives in Arizona, I think on Monday or Tuesday, most likely Tuesday. We've then got to get it from Arizona across the Atlantic to Leamington Spa. What a journey this thing's going to be on. So my guess is that we're going to see it week commencing the 12th of Feb, I think. But I'll know more next week, and it's got to go through customs and all that stuff. So no idea how much that's going to cost me. So yeah, that week, and then I've got to decide what to do with it. And I've got ideas. The challenge that I have is timing, and coming back to timing. If I look at that week, at the moment we've earmarked the Vision Pro video for the 16th, so in 2 weeks' time. If, let's say, it arrives on let's say conservatively it arrives on the 13th, that gives me 3 days really to do something with it, or move that video publish date forward. I don't really want to move that video publish date because it feels right. It feels like it's enough time from the initial flurry of reviews and people getting theirs today, for me to kind of drop my own thoughts on it. I think any later than that, I don't know. That would worry me a little bit. But the downside of that means that I have very little time to do some of the things that I want to do with it. So I've got to think about what to do in terms of the first video. It may just be my first experience of it. I may just film myself putting it on and configuring it and my reaction to it, because I've got no idea what this is going to be like. The great thing about this product is that no matter what you think about it, it's going to be an experience that none of us have had before. Even if you've used VR and those kind of headsets, from what we hear, this is different, and this is clearly technically very impressive. And it is, as I keep saying, it's what Apple is kind of suggesting desperately, not desperately, they're suggesting this is going to be the next era of computing. So that alone fascinates me. So my reaction to that, I think, is going to be hopefully going to be quite interesting. So it may be that is the first video that I make, which would be an easier video to make because it's filming, it's vlogging, it's me sitting there putting it on and screen recording and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Sticking with the Apple Vision theme, Vision Pro theme, will it work on a UK Apple ID? It's not locked like how phones used to be locked to new. No, it won't work at the moment with a UK Apple ID. So you have to have a US Apple ID, which I have set up in preparation. It's quite easy to do that legally, obviously. So I've got that ready. The thing that I don't know, and I guess we'll probably find out over the next few days as people start to get theirs, I don't know whether or not, or I don't know more specifically, I don't know what sort of content is going to work. There's a suggestion that things like Apple Music and Apple TV and potentially other media providers will be region locked to the US. Could potentially use a VPN, I guess, possibly, but who knows? Genuinely don't know. I mean, that is a story in itself. The whole what can you do with it in the UK? I don't know. It's a complete unknown, which hopefully makes it exciting. Johan, you have to do your first ever tech review video. Amazing. So far, they've all been vlog and software demo vids. So top tips from me on this new type of video. That's really exciting, Johan. In terms of what to do, what is this thing? It'd be nice to know what it is. Is it a phone? Is it? Yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments what it is. In terms of the first thing to do is not put too much pressure on yourself. And also, as I mentioned a moment ago, I wouldn't watch other videos to try and get an idea of what you should do. That would be the wrong thing to do. Do it as yourself. Do whatever comes to mind. But spend time with this thing. Don't rush it. I guess you probably haven't got a sponsor to satisfy. My guess as well is that it's probably not an embargo, and it might be, but I'm guessing it's not an embargoed product, so you're not having to work towards a date to catch the wave of interest. You've got the luxury, and it is a luxury, Johan, trust me, of time with it. So just spend some time with it, get your thoughts together. The one thing I would do immediately is, not immediately, but the first thing I would do is write the review as a blog post. Do what I do, write the review as a blog post, and then turn that blog post into a loose script for your video. That way you've got two pieces of content, and equally you've spent more time on it. I always find that when I've written the blog post, that, for instance, the video that I made for this, the one that went massively viral, that started life as a blog post. That went live before the video. Not many people probably realise that, but it did go live before the video. So I had my thoughts about that phone in my head. They were there, they were fresh, and I could riff on those points very easily, well, much more easily on the video. So write your blog post, spend time with the thing, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just enjoy the process. And shoot as much B-roll as you think you need to. Just shoot too much. You can never have too much, and I can guarantee the stuff that you do shoot and that you perhaps don't use, you might use in the future. There'll be instances where you do another follow-up video, and yeah. But I'd love to, let us know what it is, Johan. What is it that you're actually reviewing? That'd be interesting to know. Travis says, we'll make for unique content. I assume you're referring to Vision Pro. Yeah, I hope it does. I don't know how unique it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be unique insofar as it's me doing it, and I know quite a few. This wasn't the reason I did it, but I know that quite a few of my peers in the UK haven't gone for it, as far as I'm aware. The people that I'm close to, I know they haven't, and the other guys who I kind of know of relatively well and have met, I don't think they've gone for it either. Even some of them with quite big channels. So that, I don't know if that puts me in a strong position or not. I don't know. It puts me in a less profitable position, obviously, judging by the cost of the thing. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. It's something new. It's not a phone. It's something new to talk about, which is exciting. Guys, I've got 5 minutes before I have to go off and do dad duties. Hit me with your questions. Have I missed any? I'm just scrolling up. I don't think I have. I'm always worried that I miss questions, but I don't. What might be handy actually going forward, guys, if you put a Q before your question, just so I can very quickly spot them in the comments. Maybe that's it. Oh, Paul Rankins jumped on. Hi, Paul. Hope you're well. I think we're probably done, guys. I've enjoyed this. It's been, although I do feel terrible and I just need to go to bed. I've got to go and entertain a 19-month-old. That's gonna be interesting. I've enjoyed getting back into this because, like I say, it's been a couple of weeks we've had off from doing these live streams, and I didn't enjoy not being here. So thank you for jumping on. As mentioned at the start of this live stream, if you haven't checked out the Creator Academy yet, it is live and you can sign up whenever you want to. So if you've got any questions about it, by the way, guys, jump on, join the free Discord server. It's completely free. You don't have to stay on there if you don't want to. There's no tie at all, but we are finding that people are going on there and asking questions, which is quite nice. So the link for that is down below, as is the link to the Academy, and lots of other interesting things down there. So Paul, I'm glad you're doing well. That's good. Just before you go, what's on your Whoop? I feel like I should always clarify that this isn't some kind of police tag, which is what it looks like. It's the charger. So basically, that's the Whoop, which is the fitness band, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. And to charge it, the idea is that you keep this on all the time. You don't take it off, because if you take it off, your stats kind of get skewed. So the idea is that to charge it, you use this, which is a charging puck thing. So you charge this up and then you place this on your Whoop and it charges it for you. And it's waterproof, so you can wear it in the shower or if you're swimming or whatever. And yeah, it just looks a bit weird. It looks a bit strange. Persona 1600, hello. Ex-work colleague, you've just come in right at the end, which is fine. I've got no problem with that at all, but I didn't want to kind of leave without saying hello. Good news, you're a YouTube... Oh, let's put this on here. You're a YouTube partner after less than 4 months. Amazing. Can you share your YouTube URL, please? I'd love to see that. I think I have checked it out, but it's been a while. So that's amazing, though. After less than 4 months, so you've hit the 1,000 subs / 4,000 hours of watch time. Is that still the threshold? I think it is. Brilliant. Amazing. Yeah, post it there, please. Stick it down below. We'll I should always say this, actually. If you want to, there's no rule. There are rules. I don't want anyone to be horrible, but if you want to share anything in terms of your content, guys, whether it be a YouTube channel or a blog post that you've written recently, stick it down below. Hot Circuit, yeah, I do remember checking that out, so I will have another look. But congratulations, that is amazing in 4 months. That's quicker than me, I think, or maybe on a par with me. 1K, 4K, it is. Yeah, I thought so. You're on to big things. Clearly. Anyway, guys, I've got to shoot and go, like I say, go and do daddy daycare stuff. So hopefully I'll be feeling better next time. It is next Thursday we're doing this, because Friday I'm traveling somewhere. So yeah, Thursday, same time. I'll see you then. And in the meantime, have a fantastic weekend. Cheers, guys.